So, what's that one gift that is synonymous with probably every occasion in India? That one purple box that every kid in the house eagerly awaits. Well, I'm sure you may have guessed it by now. We're talking about the very loved Cadbury chocolates. A part of the Mondelez family in India for more than 2 decades, I have with me Mr. Anil Vishwanathan, who's the Senior Director Marketing, for a candid conversation with us. Well, if there's any job that you are, you were supposed to be envious about, it is his, because he strategizes and leads the overall innovation and communication agenda on on chocolate brands in the company. So on that note, please allow me to welcome Mr. Vishwanathan, who's all geared up for an innovative product portfolio and compelling marketing strategies for the upcoming festive season. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you for having me here, Soumya.
I've been through some reports very recently that signal a positive sentiment among brands and buyers for the upcoming festive time. How are you looking at it, and how important is it for a brand like Mondelez?
I think, Soumya, obviously we'll qualify that we don't make too many forward-looking statements, but looking at where we are right now, I think I can say that we're cautiously optimistic about our upcoming Diwali season. We've just come out of Rakhi, and we've had a good Rakhi. And typically for us, our season starts very much from July when it starts raining and the summers are kind of heralds to be over, and we start seeing kind of the category coming back to the front of store, people starting to pick up for the season and consumption starting to pick up. And we've seen good momentum there. So we're cautiously optimistic. Obviously, a lot of uncertainty in terms of how things might pan out in the future when it comes to, COVID, wave 3 and all that. So we can't predict. We are also having to be very dynamic in the way we look at our plans. But based on our momentum so far in the last 3 months, we're quite positive.
Okay. So, markets are signaling recovery in some sense. What's in store for the shoppers per se?
I think when we look at the mobility reports, Soumya, we do see that people are slowly starting to move about, and the constraints that we've seen in mobility are going away. Mm-hmm. Having said that, a large part of the country continues to work out of home, whether it is kids going to school or people going to work. So I think a large part of hence in-home working and in-home living continues to be a dominant trend, and people nesting at home and hence snacking more at home is a trend that we saw post-COVID last year, Soumya, and the trend continues to remain. People are still reticent in going out to malls. Anyway, they're not going out for the movies till so much time, and even eating out is limited. So considering all of that, indulgences out of home going no longer as pervasive, really making the in-home special has become the new theme. And in that context, we find that our brands and categories are playing a big role. In addition to that, I think the trend towards larger brands that are more trusted, brands with more quality, I think those are the ones that are also seeing an uptick, and we are seeing a momentum in that context as well. So I think that's what we're seeing at a broader level, people nesting at home, going for brands they trust and rely on. Mobility is going up, and hence from a shopping perspective, both the balance between shopping online and shopping offline is coming back. And I think we are confident that hence, it's going to be a more broad-based pattern when it comes to shoppers, as you wanted to know.
So would you like to give us a sense of which sectors are to, shine bright during this time?
I think, when you say sectors, if you're talking about product sectors, I think food and snacking definitely here to stay, and that's clearly something where we see momentum will continue to remain. And personally, small ticket indulgences where consumers don't have to worry so much about what they put down, indulgences and spends towards kids, right, which parents will prioritize. I think those are some of the areas where we feel that consumers will continue to spend. We do see investments in oneself going up as people are kind of almost coming out of a restrained or a constrained kind of a situation, and they're kind of embracing it. There's also, clear focus towards the value segment because consumers are also being more conscious. There's a large part of the economy which has been more impacted by the downturn, and they are trading off to more value transactions. So I think the value side of the business and value segments are definitely going to see an uptick. Those are a few of these kind of areas and segments where we think consumers are going to flock to.
Fair enough. So it wouldn't be wrong to say that we're still in the middle of a crisis here. How are brands attracting and pitching consumers, especially after this crisis time?
I think what brands need to do, Soumya, in a large sense remains the same pre-COVID or post-COVID. What seems to possibly gone up has become more salient is for brands to be demonstrating greater empathy and not being opportunistic. So I think brands that are getting caught out are those that are being opportunistic to say, hey, lots of people on digital, so let me activate something which is digitally led, or where people then feel that it's a bit more opportunistic and not long term. On the other hand, brands that are able to customize their messaging to suit the current times, we do feel that are the ones that are kind of resonating more with the consumer. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it needs to be heavy, serious, purposeful. It could even be more authentic to itself, which allows people to have fun or connect in a light way. Right. So we've seen positive responses across the board. So when we had Oreo in our portfolio, which was talking about the fact that people are stuck at home and children want to play, and how parents should find the time to play and connect with each other, that proposition also responded very well. And on the other hand, when we talked a little bit more purposeful message, like helping smaller businesses also benefit during Diwali, to our Cadbury Celebrations campaign last Diwali, we saw a strong response there as well. So I think it's about brands being authentic and empathetic as against opportunistic.
Fair enough. So talking of Mondelez in particular, I mean the marketing strategies of Mondelez in particular, we've seen that you've done a lot of product launches and campaigns in the recent past. So a brilliant retake on the famous Dairy Milk commercial, and of course the Madbury is also back. Would you want to throw light on your current marketing strategies and how you're panning out during this time?
So as I was telling you, Soumya, building from my previous answer to say that when it comes to our portfolio, we've tried to be empathetic and be authentic. So I think both kind of come to light in the way we've activated Cadbury Dairy Milk under the broad umbrella of generosity, as we call it, which is expressed in Hindi as "Kuch acha ho jaye, kuch meetha ho jaye," and we're trying to figure out and put a spotlight on achai and find ways and means to celebrate achai. And then, of course, kuch meetha, and find ways and means to say, celebrate the myriad elements of sweetness and sweets that are there in our culture. So, on one side, this whole element of kuch acha ho jaye, kuch meetha ho jaye comes alive in all the work that we did in Thank You last year, Diwali, just as I said, then Rakhi. And now in this new re-expression of our famous cricket commercial, where we felt there's a great opportunity to shed a spotlight on women's cricket and women, and felt that the role reversal could bring in a little bit of that part of commentary and conversation, which is picking up a lot of momentum today. Because that again falls under the broader umbrella of acknowledging the unacknowledged that we want to do with the generosity campaign. And then on the other hand, with Madbury, where we are saying, providing the opportunity for people to come in and make their own Cadbury flavor and become famous by making, creating, and by offering them a very interesting interface through which they can really mix and match and bring alive the diversity that's there in our culinary culture, picking up local ingredients, mixing them with kind of classic ingredients, bringing in a little bit of Western twist. I think giving a lot of opportunity. It's a very wide palette, and Soumya, very early on when we launched Madbury 2 years back, we realized that the excitement that it can create in a household of saying, okay, let me open my Cadbury, let me put it into the microwave, melt it, and then add something that's there at home and make my own Cadbury. That's the beauty of this proposition. And that's what we want to trigger. We want to make the kitchen a very interesting space where people and families can come together and play around. And then, of course, give life to that one of those lucky creations, which then has their own name on it to say it is so-and-so's Cadbury flavor.
Interesting. So can you also give me a sense of, the budgets that you set for online channels and offline channels? A ballpark figure will work for me, I know. आप estimates ही दे पाएंगे. So anything that is convenient for you to share.
As you know, Samya, so I think we can't give you hard numbers, but what we can say is definitely that firstly, we're staying invested in the season and actually increasing our investments versus the last 2 years. So while we are being cautiously optimistic, we are saying that we need to invest because that's again an important element of kind of the growth agenda, the growth algorithm, to say that brands that stay invested and are a little bit more salient at this point in time will benefit from that kind of mental availability that works for those brands. So we're staying invested, and in that context, our mantra is very simple. So we are where the consumer is. So and hence we tend to take a multimedia approach rather than making choices between one versus the other, and try and see where we can connect with the consumer across multiple touch points. So that's really has been our strategy. So we've continued to use multimedia, and in that context, given the fact that the consumer is spending so much more time on digital is emerging and online is emerging as a big investment area, not just on the campaign side, but also on the commerce side. True. And we're seeing both for reach and performance, us investing significantly. We're seeing a fair amount of traction on online as well, both on our platform, on e-commerce platforms, marketplace and e-grocers, and also on our direct-to-consumers platform, which we've been investing over the past few years through CadburyGifting.in. So I think overall, when I look at it at this level, at a combined level, we do see online playing a much bigger role than we had in the past.
Fair enough. So my last question to you is, would you want to give us some trends that you anticipate in the confectionery sector or the retail sector per se, that the marketers can expect or the buyers can expect?
I think the post-COVID situation, Soumya, has clearly rebalanced the focus between core and innovation, to say that while innovation is an important part of any business to grow, and especially in food where so much is happening, the role of innovation has always played an important part in the growth algorithm. But the role of core has gone up. And core brands, as they are jostling for share and space, those that are able to clearly identify their core proposition and work on their core, not just from a messaging standpoint, but also from a portfolio standpoint, readying themselves for the future, being clear about their purpose, doing something, having a point of view on sustainability. I think these components which have become now important building blocks for the solid future of a core brand is taking more and more preeminence. And hence, while innovation remains important, and while there was a little bit of a drop in momentum during COVID times because of supply disruptions, manufacturing disruptions, you would see innovations come back. But I do see core becoming a much bigger and important conversation to be had. And those brands which have a clear core, which have invested behind that core, and which have kind of pillars that are supporting that core, are the ones that will emerge as the winners in the future.
Fair enough, sir. So this was all for today. Thank you so much for your time. I'm sure I have a lot of takeaways from this interview, and the audiences will have their takeaways. Thanks for your time, sir.
Thank you so much, Soumya. Thank you for having me here once again, and stay safe.